Even if your camera work leaves something to be desired, you can still create some amazing transitions right here in Adobe Premiere Pro. Hi, I'm Hallease. I'm a filmmaker and storyteller, and today I'm going to show you how you can spice up your transitions using masks. But like, what is a mask? Really? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? So to put it simply, a mask allows you to define a specific space in your frame, put effects on it, and then track it. You can use masks for a variety of things. So using a mask is how I'm able to remove all of the colors here from my color picker while I stay beautiful and colorful and vibrant. And just as you can use masks to add different effects to your footage, you can also use masks to create engaging transitions. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you two of my favorite mask transitions to use. Let's get into it. Well, let's get the color back first. Now let's get into it. So the first transition I'm going to cover is the one I used at the top of this video, where I used my hand to reveal myself in another part of the apartment. This is called a mask reveal transition, and it's incredibly easy to do in Adobe Premiere Pro. Let's hop right into it. So to start, you'll notice that I have the clip of myself in the office on top of the clip of myself being revealed in the other space. This will make sense when we start to mask it out. That way it's just easier to see how everything's going, and I more or less have them timed the way I want them as well. Pro tip for when you're going to do this type of transition in a video, you'll notice that when I do the hand transition, my hand is covering the entire frame. And that's really important, so that way it gives you a strong line to use to create your mask to cover the whole frame. So it's really important that if you're going to do this, you want whatever it is that's going to act as the transition point to cover the entire frame from the top to the bottom. Now, in order to start this transition, we're just going to have that clip highlighted and head over to our effects controls, and then we're going to enable the opacity and the pen tool within the opacity. All you have to do is click on it and you'll see a new mask now appears, and from this point on, it's just all about drawing your mask as best as you can. So I'm just going to start off right now by drawing a super rough mask, like I'm not even being amazing about it. Now we're going to enable our mask path, because again, we want this to change over time. So we need to make sure that our mask path, the stopwatch, is enabled. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to invert our mask, so that way we can see things a bit better. Now we just start moving. So I'm gonna use my arrow keys to just kind of scoot the frame one frame over. And then from there, I'm going to start drawing. If you'll notice that your pen is gone, you can't do anything anymore, just highlight the mask and everything will show back up. You can start to drag and pull your mask over. And from there, you just start creating a super duper rough mask around the very edge of my hand, all the while making sure that your mask is slowly revealing the other side. Now, if you need to get access to the edges of the frame because your mask needs to just kind of go outside of it, all you have to do is come down here, bring it out to like 50% or 25% so you can see more of the frame. But from here, we're just gonna keep going. All right, that looks pretty good for that. Let's scoot over one more frame now. Cool. If you want to add more points, all you have to do is click where there is an empty spot where there's no point, and it will just create one there for you. Now remember, you do want to try to get your mask to go all the way across the frame and finish out. So now let's play this back and see what we've got. Even if your camera work leaves something to be desired, you can still create some amazing transitions right here in Adobe Premiere Pro. That looks pretty choppy, right? So the way we're gonna fix that is just by doing a simple feather. So if I turn off what I've done, you'll notice that because I'm shooting at 24 frames per second, my hand is actually pretty blurry, also because the camera is staying focused on my face. So we wanna replicate that motion blur in the mask as well. And the way to do that is just to enable the mask feather feature. So I'm gonna turn my mask back on, and then I'm going to enable the feathering. I'm not going to use the stopwatch because I want this feathering to last the entire time the mask is on screen. So without enabling the stopwatch, I'm just going to up the feather. I have it set to 192, play around with it. I will say to note, you see how our feather doesn't technically come into the screen either though. That's a good thing to notice. All right, let's play this back. Click away so our mask isn't there, and let's see what we've got. Camera work leaves something to be desired. You can still create some amazing transitions right here in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now you can do this with so many different kinds of shots. I especially like to do this to establish myself in a new space and location with my audience, which leads me to my next example. If you're someone who creates travel content, there are so many different ways you can reveal to your audience where you are in the world. But one of my favorites is to incorporate text into the footage and then reveal it using a mask. And it is incredibly simple to do in Adobe Premiere Pro. Here we go. So I am based in Atlanta, Georgia, and here in Atlanta, there's a lot of different tunnels and walkways where you can see all sorts of fun art and graffiti. I did this really simple shot of me walking past some of it, and I'm going to now incorporate a text reveal to show you that I'm in Atlanta. We're gonna just take our shot and drag it down into our timeline. So the first thing I wanna do is just add my text, right? So I'm gonna go to the text tool, click anywhere, and just type what I want, which would be Atlanta. So in order to see the text and start to make adjustments to it, I'm gonna go to Window and make sure that my Essential Graphics panel is turned on. And once your Essential Graphics panel is turned on, you can start to make all the adjustments to your text that you want. Let's make some quick adjustments here and just get the font more or less where we want it in the frame. Essentially, you want to make sure that the font is where I am, so that way I can reveal it as I walk by. Now, we're going to create a mask around the font and then have that mask move accordingly. Now, in the first example, I created a mask that was really loose. We used the pen tool to create it and it worked pretty well. But another way you can create a mask is actually just by creating a very simple shape. So in the effects controls, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over to our text that is represented here. And then I'm actually just gonna create a square instead of drawing a whole pin situation. And we're also going to incorporate enough feathering that we don't need to be super crazy epic about masking this correctly, which is why I like doing it this way, because it's just a really straightforward, simple mask. But again, it adds that little flavor. We're ready to go. Same as before, we're gonna hit that inverted button, and now we're gonna start drawing. So we're gonna toggle on the animation for our mask path, and we're going to start going. And let's see, I walk there. Let's have it move a little bit. And again, you can be as epic or not epic about this as you want. Now, one pro tip I will say is it's better to stay right on the edge rather than cheat it forward. That'll really just help to make the effects seem good without being super rotoscopy about all of this. All right, that's a little rough, but let's go ahead and add our feathering to it and just see what this does. And then let's click away so that way we see it pretty clear. Not too bad. We're gonna call this a zoom out, because I think actually a zoom out will be a little bit better with this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with it being at 120, maybe. Turn on our scale stopwatch, click somewhere up a little bit, and then we're gonna hit 100. You saw I pulled that keyframe all the way to the end, and now let's play it. Simple. So as you saw, I used my own body to hide the text, but a lot of times, depending on how you film, in a location, you can use a bus passing by, or even a building or a pillar. Literally anything in the frame that moves, you can create a mask and hide text under it to reveal something. So try it out and let me know what you think. And we added my signature zoom out. Now, I have barely scratched the surface on how to use masks in Adobe Premiere Pro, which is why you should subscribe to this channel, so that way you don't miss other tutorials, tips, and tricks. And also, let me know in the comments below what you'd like to learn next. Hallease, you're supposed to be doing the conclusion, girl. Y'all, good help is hard to find. I'm Hallease, endeavoring to persevere as always, and I'll see you when I see you.